My name's host Eric, and I'm here to say, what are you doing? Welcome to Talking with Famous People. Let's make a stream worth clipping. Let's make the kind of stream that your mother would send to you as a URL written on a piece of paper in a snail mail letter. Let's make that kind of stream. In order to do that, of course, I'm going to have to I'm going to have to say plenty of clippable things. We've had a not the best day today because we got a bit of a sticker shock, bit of bad news regarding Rachel's dental needs. But I am hopeful that we're gonna get a second opinion or second quote. Hopefully it won't be quite so pricey. Anyway, I've been kind of just processing that reality for since I learned of it. I think I like when I think about the job that I'll be getting, probably substitute teaching. How like best case scenario, realistically, I'd bring home maybe $3,000 a month. When I think about that, and I think about the amount of the dental bill in terms of amount of time spent working, it really hits home like, oh Jesus, that's a big bill. So we're going to try to find some more cost-effective way to get the same thing accomplished. And I think we can get it done cheaper elsewhere because the dentist that I took her to today, which is the dentist I'm getting my work done from, he's an oral surgeon. Oral surgeons tend to be more expensive than regular dentists. So I think we can get it done cheaper elsewhere. Regardless, it's still a real gut punch. Real gut punch indeed. But it's okay, everything's gonna be fine. We just have to bite that bullet, I think, and get Rachel's teeth problems solved for hopefully that'll have her set for a good decade or so. They're talking about 8 crowns. Now that's a lot of spinoli. So, obviously, big unexpected bills. I expected some bill for her dental needs, but I didn't expect that. 8 crowns. 8 crowns is, you're talking, 5 figures. So, just processing that. That's all I'm doing is just processing. But I'm also kind of keeping in my awareness various things I can do to be a little bit more proactive in terms of generating income sooner and stuff. Not that it's not like there's a pressing emergency or anything, but I'm trying to preserve. I'm trying to have accounted for when I'm 60, 65, not just next couple of years, next few years or something. So I think we'll be good. We'll be fine. But it still hurts a lot to have a big unexpected bill. Nobody likes that. Alright, I think what I'll do here right now, I want to get a different beverage. Something that really says spring. I got the rest of this last little bit of Pepsi I got at lunch, but voila, Pepsi done. I'm making more coffee, but I also want to get non-alcoholic beer going in here in the mix. One scoop, 2 scoops, 3 scoops. That's one more scoop of coffee than there are scoops of raisin in a box of Raisin Brans. Yes, we do have Raisin Bran. Yes, I do sometimes eat Raisin Bran. I like Raisin Bran. I think it's pretty good. It doesn't taste all branny, but it does have bran in it. The best of both worlds. So, how does one make a clippable live stream? Well, I was thinking here, I don't know if I'm actually going to manifest this reality or not, but I was thinking I might try to explain a sequence of different concepts and such in concise nutshell fashion, and then I'd have, I'd come out of this live stream knowing, okay, well, I've got multiple shorts I could clip out of this. Hi, Gyalt, how's it going? I made a short today about SI, SINI front stack, and it seems to be doing okay, not a ton of views, but a good percentage of likes. I also Raisin Bran has a different ratio of raisins in it depending on what size you get. Is that true? Huh. That's interesting to know. So, if you're a real connoisseur of the Raisin Bran, you're going to know which size box of Raisin Bran's ratio you prefer. What does this all mean? What does this all mean? Evening, Eric says, what does this all mean? Evening, what does this all mean? Reminds me of how the small bag of Cheetos, I like the flaming hot kind, have a lot more of the smaller, more dense Cheetos in the bag. Well, one presumes, Ruben, that if you're going to get the precise weight in the small bags, that you have to have more smaller pieces, or else it's harder to, like, if I want to give you $1, I only need $1. But if I need to give you 3 cents, well, then I need smaller pieces of Cheeto. Makes perfectly good sense. Probably going to grab my nightly cider around 9 to 9:30 p.m. Well, aren't you a happy-go-lucky drinker? Slowly re-engaging with the topic of programming. Been real lazy lately. That's okay. They put the tight Cheetos in there. Well, it's like, okay, when they're weighing out, if you go to a gray market weed store where they actually get it out of the jar themselves and put it and weigh it out for you, then, you know, when you're buying just a gram, they have to be very precise with the, right? If you're buying a half ounce, then they're like, it goes a little over, whatever. Processed food wisdom. That's right. That's because I got my degree in processing food from the University of Doctorates, where Dr. Varani got her PhD as well. Dr. Varani PhD, is that what her name was? That lady. Oh my God. She didn't learn a thing, I bet you. She did not learn a thing. So Tuts had said he wanted to type me. And I was like, absolutely, yeah. Next time I'm live streaming, tell me and I'll stop streaming, invite you to a meet, and you can type me and I'll record it. But I don't know if that was an idle threat or not. I used to love picking up a desirable nug, grinding it up, and packing my pipe, especially that top shelf stuff. Curse my psychosis. I curse you, guilt psychosis. I curse you with damnings. Yeah, I understood what you said.
My mom says that there's $4,000 left from the honeymoon money that can go towards my teeth.
Well, that's good. That's nice. Okay, well, let's plan to take her up on that, I guess. But I still want to go talk to a second dentist.
Yes.
You know? Okay. I still think we can get it cheaper than 15,000. But thank you for. Did she suggest that, or did you?
Yeah, that's why she called.
Oh. Well, okay, cool. Well, that's nice. That'll help. And considering that, I'm thinking, we can get this at a second dentist, a regular dentist rather than an oral surgeon. When we factor in the $4,000, we can get this for under $10,000, which would be great. Yeah. Under $10,000 from our funds, it would be great.
I feel like I was a little bit neg. Like, basically, like, all my teeth were, like, to be pulled out and replaced, except for, like, my front.
Okay, well, let's see what the other dentist says, because, there's, some dentists might say, like, I had this bad dentist who said, let's yank all those teeth back there.
That's right.
When really, multiple of them could have been saved and should have been saved.
Yeah.
So let's see what another dentist has to say.
I'm sorry to be talking about it.
It's fine. It's not a problem. The TI polar short was great. Her name is Kay. That's correct. That's Kay, the neighbor. And she lived next door. And she did demonstrate it beautifully, didn't she? That was a perfect example of TI polar. Another good example of TI polar is found in the comments being left by Tuts, the most recent comment left by Tuts, which, I could read it, I suppose. These things, it shouldn't make me shake my head. I should just be like, absolutely 100% what I expected. Um, 21 minutes to go. Let's see where Tuts is coming is that I want to read. So on the video titled Bias, Correctness, and TI Blind Spot, Ted says, lol, my goodness, and all these people believe in this? Wow. I would like anybody to watch all these ramblings and videos and not spot TE Dom looping with NE when confronted. I've never liked the taste of Kool-Aid. Okay. Thinks I'm a TE Dom, I guess. Root canals and implants are preferable to keep jawbone stimulated for bone health, or so I've learned this past year. Well, yeah, but Rachel doesn't need either root canals or implants. The dentist says she needs 8 crowns, but we're gonna go get a second opinion. Because even if the second opinion says exactly the same thing, I'm thinking a regular dentist is going to be at least somewhat cheaper than this oral surgeon. Since she's not getting any tooth extractions, she's not getting any implants, she's not getting any wisdom teeth pulled or anything like that. You're eating 3 hard-boiled eggs at once. You just put them all, tuck one in each cheek and one in the middle, and just go. Yeah, that's my thoughts exactly, Ruben. Yeah, doll, that's what I'm thinking. 8 crowns, you need a more conservative dentist. Keep what's there as long as possible. No, crowns are not necessarily. You don't have to get a root canal to get a crown, and you don't have to get a crown to get a root canal. They're separate things. But I'm glad to hear you say that, Dallas, because I think Rachel was, you know, is a little hesitant about my suggestions that maybe she doesn't really need that much stuff done, you know. And maybe some of that could be solved by a filling or two. She doesn't feel like that's the case, but you know, I'm not. If in fact it does need 8 crowns, then that's what we'll have to get done. But if a different dentist says something different, maybe we we have a somewhat different perspective on it, you know. What's that?
I have a crown actually. I didn't actually really need it, but they were like, let's just do it. And it was at this dentistry school, and I got a crown. But yeah, they sheet down the tooth, and they put a cap on it, don't they? Isn't that a crown?
Yeah, when the crown, yeah, they grind down the natural tooth and they cover it with a fake tooth covering thing that protects the natural enamel. But as Dulles was indicating, in an ideal world, the dentist saves as much and as many of your teeth as possible.
Yeah, that's why I think like some of these teeth are still there.
Well, let's see what the other dentist says.
Okay.
Who contradicted your last comment? Fly guy. I'll give him a piece of my mind, unless it was me. Chewing's not overrated. Oh no, I did contradict your last comment. This coffee's really good. So, you guys, we've got to make something that's clippable so that I can make shorts from this. If I need to make $10,000 in shorts, then I'm going to need to make about 400,000 shorts. You need to see Lana today? Very well. After the cigarette, after I go out for a cigarette, I'll show you your beloved. What you need to do is take a screenshot and print it out and carry it around with you so you can see if you meet your soulmate someplace, you know. Coffee hits stronger than energy drinks, even though energy drinks have more caffeine. Tobacco feels different than vaping. Well, I think it's also fair to say that a cigarette tastes best and is most satisfying with alcohol, but second best and second most satisfying with coffee. So when I get a fresh cup of Joe in my hand, that's time. That tells me it's time for smoking. I'm not going to eat this, don't worry. I'm just going to eat it with my lungs. So what should I explain or say or talk about that would cut well as a short, you know? The cold weather is giving you high beams. Guilt. I told you not to wear that tight t-shirt. TI versus TE. Oh, that's a good enough thing. So, you know, if you're going to draw a distinction between introverted thinking and extroverted thinking, it's foremost important to remember that introverted thinking is not the same kind of way of paying attention as extroverted thinking. Introverted thinking is a way of deliberating, determining whether a position statement, other sets of words, an argument, an explanation, whether it's internally consistent and consistent externally with the rules of logic and grammar and stuff. Extroverted thinking, on the other hand, is an interface function, which is to say it kind of engages in a handshake exchange of dynamic action with some sort of dynamic system, in particular physical dynamic systems or organizational systems, but not human systems, not human emotional systems. So accordingly, it operates not just is it a different kind of function, but it operates according to a different kind of time frame. TE operates according to a real time, moment to moment, things authentically changing dynamically time frame, whereas introverted thinking operates on a turn-based time frame, which presumes that you'll be able to complete a full action and deliberate out the results of it before taking another action, and nothing will change in the interim. That's pretty good. A ninth old man. You mean another old man? I am another old man, but so much different than the previous old man. Yeah, you had a life way easier than us kids now. GTFOH, imagine paying $30,000 for a house. I cannot imagine it. That's what my parents paid for their house. But that's not me. Oh, look at these numbers. I know, 18 people here. It's a gosh darn stampede. I'm taking questions, providing answers with the hope that I will clip them into shorts. later now that I've discovered this either new tool, and maybe you could do a stream titled "Give Man Any 2 Words and He'll Rap About Them." That's true, I will rap about any 2 words. Well, not any 2 words. I'm not going to make this an invitation to include hate speech and stuff, you know. Okay. So there's a misconception in general about extroversion and introversion. Extroversion and introversion are not discrete traits at all. They don't represent ways of paying attention, and they only loosely correlate with colloquial understandings of the term extrovert or introvert. Colloquially, we understand extroverts to be gregarious people who like to engage socially, and we understand introverts to be people who prefer more solitude, quiet, getting away from the group. But in terms of cognitive functions, a person is deemed an extrovert simply if they have any extroverted cognitive function as their dominant function, and an introvert if they have any introverted function as their dominant function. So it's not possible to understand intuition plus introversion to make introverted intuition, because introversion, unlike the term introverted intuition, doesn't have a precise meaning. It just refers to any of the introverted functions. Rap about abortion in Islam. Abortion in Islam, contortionist Kisdom. Yeah. If you like abortion, come do contortions and we'll go and sport some things. But what if I am a gregarious social butterfly? Well, then you're probably an extrovert and you have extroverted feeling somewhere high up in the stack, probably. Okay. Are you a gregarious social butterfly? That's not the neighbor. That's a different K. Do you believe in sphericals? So yeah, so Tuts says I'm a TE Dom, and that anybody who listens to my mini ramblings would agree with him. Ramblings. Why do people say I'm rambling? There might be some occasions when my words comprise ramblings, I guess, but you know, not my explanations of things. I guess he probably genuinely can't tell the difference between a genuine explanation and rambling. Maybe he thinks, you know, that conservation of energy is ramblings. Who knows? More rambling on the shrooms. Yes, I do ramble more on the shrooms. Or I guess I would say I'm less responsive to the chat. Whether or not that makes it necessarily more rambling, I'm not sure, but it could be. I don't necessarily always remember my mushroom strains all that well. I think it was during the last mushroom strain though that I enjoyed my discussion of a Saturday Night Live skit based on Ariel asking Eric to guess her name in Little Mermaid. But he keeps guessing just horrible names. You know, like Wargle. Is it Wargle? She gets increasingly frustrated. Who is the Lord of the Rings in The Lord of the Rings? it's it's whoever has it, you know. Well, Frodo has it. Presumably, he's Lord of the Rings. When he throws it back into the lava, then I guess there is no Lord of the Rings anymore. There's just a Prince of the Rings, maybe. Okay, well, the Lord of the One Ring is also the Lord of the other rings, okay? Because the One Ring rules them all. You need to remember that. I have to go to the bathroom. What am I going? You're gonna hold down the fork for me? Thank you.
Nice doing.
Wait.
Hi everyone, I'm like very stripped down. There were no more rings, not at the end, right? Like, that's what happens to the ring.
Yeah, okay, but I know there were many rings, but the person who had the One Ring was the Lord of all of the rings.
I am on my phone, so am slow to respond and thinking slowly. Brain fry work days. Oh man. Hello? What does this all mean? You're like 5 for like L, 7 for doors, and 9 for men, or something like that. Jeez, it's been so long since I've seen the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Sorry to hear that, Gail. I wonder why the elves and dwarves never became ring race now that I think about it. It's a good question. 13 for hipsters hanging out in cafes. That's like people my age, Dallas. It's because men are evil. Oh, right. Plus, like, what's trendy? Who is lordiest of the Lord? I vote Smeagol. Smeagol for lordiest of the lords? I think women are cooler. And maybe one of the elves should have been. No one should have been Lord of the Ring because that ring was cursed. It was no bueno. That ring had to go. I changed it from Black Star to what does it all mean? Nice job. 8 for the millennials glued to their phones. I really am glued to my phone. It's right in my lap right now. Who the home run Cole guy? I say let's change that. Smurfette? I have baby no money stuck in my head. Is Dallas on his phone or is he on his laptop? Cool, Dallas. I'm on my phone too because I just woke up in the middle of the night. I'm sorry about that. Eric forged the one ring in the fires of Mount Doom. I honestly don't remember. There's not. I remember liking all three of them a lot, and it's just been a really long time since I've seen them. Facts. My mom has an SUV, and she was born 1953. Dang nav. It's okay, my sleep been crap lately. I fell asleep too early. I might be able to fall back asleep. But thank you for worrying. You're welcome.
Rachel has had a weed drink.
Yes.
She's a little faded.
Is it okay?
Oh, of course, darling. It said right there, I thought you were really stoned.
Oh.
So I was explaining that, yeah, she's a little faded because she had a drink.
You have a mushroom cloud on your head? Because that's how I feel like putting my hair right now, okay? I really just don't feel like dealing with anything, including hair.
Or the more obvious explanation is that somebody dropped a nuclear bomb on her head.
Does it remind you of a nuclear
We said mushroom cloud.
Yeah, that's true. Why do I though? Does it look like that? Does it look like
I mean, I don't think it really looks like a mushroom cloud, but mushroom clouds are what nuclear bombs make. Give a man wrapping paper, he will wrap a present. Feed a man wrapping paper, he will eat for a few hours. Fantastic. Wonderful quote. And an important contribution by Benjamin Franklin to the American milieu. It's a fancy word that means meow. Yeah, it's one of those words you use when you study literature. Hutchinson lives in Missoula, Montana. Welcome back, Missoula, Montana. We've missed you so. Prior to your arrival, we were stuck with people from other parts of Montana. Where's the other jar of weed?
Did you bring it in the car?
No, I mean, oh yeah, maybe I did. Maybe it's in the car. Let's go look in the car for it. Unlike Benjamin's asshole, Benjamin Franklin, little known fact, did not actually have an asshole. He was like a bird. He both pooped and peed out of his penis. You know, the old saying, early to bed, early to rise. Look at me, I'm pooping out my dick. If you're not familiar with that old saying, it's one of his classics. Hey, girls. I'm here. I'm Benjamin Franklin. I've got syphilis. Who wants to roll in the hay? He was quite a ladies' man for being... You know, you look at Benjamin Franklin, you think of this portly guy with bald hair and a kind of ill-advised ponytail, spectacles, and kind of clunky boots. But he actually slayed, you know? He traveled all around Europe just spreading syphilis wherever he went. Give a man a day, you feed him for a fish. Man a feed to teach, you fish him for a lifetime. Well said. You're sure he had a lot of charisma? Well, he always had some folksy wisdom to offer, you know? Like, yeah, he'd be talking to some lady in England or whatever, and say, you know, they say when a woman goes to bed with a man beside her, she wakes up and knows the truth. And she, is that so? You know, he just made shit up all the time. That was his whole MO. Do you know I discovered lightning? I'm pretty sure we knew about lightning before you. Yes, well, I caught it in a key on my kite. He had me and it wakes up. Yeah. Something like, they say there's nothing sadder than a maiden left spoiled on the branch. You know? And she's like, really? I don't want to spoil on the branch. My favorite quote from a president of the United States is, I promise to never ride a bicycle. Donald Trump. Did he really say that? I'd believe him to have said that, but I'm finding when I get older, sometimes when I cop, I part at the same time. It's just being efficient, my friend. It's just speed running the gas exhalations. I won't promise to never ride a bike, but I do promise that if it starts becoming exercise, I'll regret it. He said that after Biden fell off his bike. Well, fair enough. You can't fall off a bicycle you never ride. Coming up pretty quick here, like in 1 minute, I guess, is the beginning of the USC women's basketball game. I'll have that on the background, but I'll turn the volume down on it. And, you know that expression, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take? That's false. You cannot miss a shot you do not take. For example, if I take 0 shots, then the worst I can do is 0 for 0.
Yeah, that's like me in laser tag. They were like, for the first time ever, we have a perfect 0. I was neither shot nor got any shots.
You just basically like hid in the corner the whole time.
I don't know how it happened.
She's not a tall woman, actually. She's, I guess you'd say a short woman? Because she's 5'2". And that's not especially tall. But in China, it's probably medium. Or maybe a little bit on the tall
but
side.
I'm too stocky for the Chinese woman to enjoy.
Okay.
I don't know, like they like him like to be able to eat their mom's food but to like not gain any weight. I don't know.
She just looks tall because she's stretched out.
Yeah.
I always get weird looks when I watch women's basketball. They always escort me off the school grounds. Well, that's called girls basketball. So, you know, I've been following through on a bit of a plan I had to make some make some shorts about cognitive functions and stuff. Try to generate a little bit more typing sessions and stuff.
Wait, he said something about your wife.
Who said something about my what? Where? Here?
Mm-hmm. When you're a guy and then basketball women, I would no make a pass at your wife. Come on now.
I didn't think you did make
Yeah,
a.
I don't think.
Oh, you're talking about the. I see when you say tall woman. I didn't think that was a pass regardless. I just thought you had misidentified Rachel as tall. But you were talking about basketball women. I see. Gotcha. My
That
bad. My
makes a lot
mistake.
more
Makes more sense.
sense.
Yes. What's your name that I'm more familiar with you at? As if I were 5 foot, I would hang out with people who are also 5 foot. So when they say their height, I could say I'm 5'2" and make people think I might be 5 foot two. And risk making them jealous. Good question, Fly Guy. What was I about to do? Oh, right. I remember now. I was going to live the dream of excitement. Oh, it's not even going to be. Is it on the Big Ten Network's main Big Ten Network or is it on Big Ten Plus? Let's find out. I don't see any. It must be on Big Ten Plus. Well, that's why I got it. So I kind of like watching the games on Big Ten Plus Network because there's no commercials and they're just broadcast by student broadcasters. So it's kind of like super chill. Kind of feels like you're at the stadium watching the game. I agree. Well, I want to see the game. Why is it not showing it to me? Hello? What the deuce? Come on now. Don't fuck around with the fuck arounds. What's going on? Women's basketball. I have the extension to Chrome. No, not that extension. Close. Watch here. That's not right. How do I... Why is it not showing the game? I do not understand. I thought it's supposed to be on TV. On the Big Ten Network. Or Big Ten Plus. Yeah, it is. So why is it not working? Do I need to like log in or something? Am I logged in? What the hell? How do I even tell if I'm logged in? Admin. Watch. Ah, there we go. All right. I did find it successfully. It took a little bit of doing, but I got to it. All right, so we're down 5-2 still, but that's okay. I will pull the chat up over here and we're going to get this all figured out. Everything from the beginning of the universe to the nature of God, we'll have it all solved by the end of today's live stream. Let's see what's going on here in the chat. Let's see. Jonathan Earl, I haven't been here in a while. I suffered some sort of mini stroke or Bell's palsy. I don't know yet. Oh man, sorry to hear that, Johnny Cats.
Me too.
Johnny Cats, don't you use a dictation program to chat? Thanks, it does suck. Hope you're better, Cats, says Kay. No, I don't think so. What is that? You speak to write messages in the chat. I've been using that a lot lately, but it doesn't get people's names right.
Oh.
Did you start doing that because of Bell's palsy? Yes, I did. It's hard to spell and type with my left middle finger is still numb, not feeling it at all. How long has it been? I've been off work for 2 weeks and I go back tomorrow to be my first time riding my bike, so fingers crossed. Hi, Shad. How you doing? Hope you get there safe, though, to be frank, maybe taking a cab or something could be safer, but maybe, but no money. Yeah, you gotta work. You gotta get to work, and it's understandable that you don't have extra funds for cabs and stuff. So how are you doing tonight, Shad Betham? Are you having a wonderful evening? On a scale of abject despair to magnificent greatest night of your life, how is your evening going? I hope it's going well. I'm doing about a 4 on a scale of 1 to 10. Okay, well, it's an F, but it's a high F. You know, we're not having the greatest day either. You got some bad news about a friend? I'm sorry to hear that.
Me too.
Care to elaborate? No, that's fine. Rachel and I have had a bit of a rough day too. We learned that we've got rather a large dental bill coming up for Rachel. She went to the dentist for the first time in a while today. I think it would be better if I had fallen asleep longer. Yeah, well, welcome to the sleep deprived party. I frequently have lots of challenges wrestling with trying to get sleep, trying to stay asleep. Shit is crazy sometimes. That's the truth. Other times, shit is sane. But we make less note of those times. Oh man, good to see you guys. You are already doing much better tonight. Great to see you, Eric. I'm doing better tonight than when? I mean, you just say those things to be provocative. So I don't even know why I respond. The truth is, a witness, I think we're doing not quite so well tonight as we were last night because we got a bit of a large unexpectedly large bill. Yeah, well, a witness, I don't really trust any of your assessments of me because I think they're primarily done to provoke. I'm not even sure if you know that's why you're doing it, but one would presume you would, but I don't really know. You're kind of a mystery in that regard. Makes you more interesting than somebody whose status I could resolve definitively one way or the other, I guess. I did read the comment. I have not checked the timestamp yet. But maybe I will. I have a feeling whatever you're linking to, I don't know if I'm gonna like it or not. I guess I could check, find out, and see.
What was it about? What did I say?
I mean, I don't know. We'll have to.
What did I say?
I don't know. Let's find out. I don't even see the comments. Where are the comments? Okay, well, I can't find the comment right now, so we will not worry about that at the moment. It was 102:22 on the timeline. Okay.
Hey, Johnny Doe.
Hi, Johnny Doe. 102:22 on the timeline. Let's see.
A lot of celebrities, and I don't like it. I'm not. They don't like me, but they like Eric. And they'll try to steal him.
They
Eric is Capricorn rising.
they
Gemini,
they don't even know me.
I know it, and I can talk it. Oh my god! First of all, a witness. I have only lived in California for 6 years. I think it's 10 years, and then you're officially. Well, I am Californian.
Okay, so you linked to an instance where you provoked a response from Rachel. Okay, well, that didn't seem either here nor there really to me. It was like not of any particular note. It was fine. I find enough thing to think, I guess.
Thought I got jealous about
I wasn't.
stuff.
I wasn't pretending to be excited. What do you mean? Oh, you're talking to a witness. I see. Yes, I went to 102:22. And she said, "Oh my God, a witness." Unless I'm in the wrong video. I might be in the wrong video. That's plausible. But also, Eric, you totally doxed Jordan or whoever your neighbor is. What do you mean I doxed him? In what way did I dox him? I don't think I put up any of his documents. Like, what did I do? Sounds like someone's talking shit. Funny thing is that Pee Wee Herman channeled for Rachel right at that moment. You have to be quite so provocative. I'm referring to her as Rachie. You're a real. You're a real snotty nose. You know. I understand that Rachel's username says Rachie, but you're not typing to her username. You're referring to her in third person. So what difference does that make? Uh that went to voicemail. I still don't think that doxes him. Anyway, who's gonna call Jared or bother Jared? You know what I mean? That'd be really strange if somebody was like, "Oh, I've got to call that guy." Okay, witness. Just try to just let's just all just try to relax here, shall we? Let's just try to relax with the relaxation. Did I laugh? I don't think I laughed at that, but like, where did you pick up this manner of engaging with people? It's got this like constant undertone of judginess to it. How are those THC drinks? I like them. Rachel likes them. I was thinking about having one tonight, maybe. Who are we talking about, by the way? I was talking about a witness. You know, he says things like, like what you would call, I guess, passive aggressive, like slightly veiled judgment, saying things like, "You're looking better tonight, less lethargic." you know, yeah,
Hey, Keisha.
I do not
We're not laughing.
agree that I was lethargic last night, and I don't think that it's your job to determine whether or not I'm in whatever state of being I'm in. Like, oh, you're looking pretty tired, or you're looking better today, or you're looking great today, Eric, or just don't even worry about me. you know, I'm fine. The only person who's obsessed with my well-being because they think that I'm something other than fine is you. But of course, you're not actually concerned about my well-being. You're concern trolling. How to being catching, kind of catching on. You were trying to hide it.
What's that noise? No. Maybe it's confusing.
Might be coming from your phone. Stop thinking that you're not concerned. I mean, it really doesn't matter if you are genuinely concerned or if you're just using, the I guess, fulcrum of concern to leveraging your judgment. Johnny just says, I'm concerned about this stream. Hey, witness, I'm plenty rude to you as well. Because, of course, you are not.
Thanks, Katie. I'm glad someone else agrees.
You don't afford other individuals, basic levels of respect for their autonomy and agency. What happened to the mountain lion near your house? I don't know. I do not know. You've just never seen this much love. It seems odd as all. Okay, so now you're discounting all of the cherished relationships in my life and saying that those people, the people who actually love me, like my daughter, my wife, my parents before they died, friends I've had for many years and stuff, etc., that they don't love me as much as you do. Okay. There's an Ontario, Spain. Dear God, that's too many Ontarios. Good point. Ontarios need to stop procreating. I agree. You're wigging out. This is not what they call wigging out. Used to be rude guy. Who was 2996? That was one fly guy before this fly guy. He inherited the title from the previous woman that one died. I mean, from a person that you've never met, silly. Right, it's silly to say that I've never seen as much love as I'm seeing from this person I've ever met. That would be very silly. I used to be a troll, says Johnny Doe. I was better than Fly Guy, I promise. Fly Guy is not a troll. Fly Guy not only is not a troll, but he's also not a goblin, a hobgoblin, or any other variant or troll-like creature. I'm wigging out. Look at me wig. I'm wigging out. Look at me wig. You can see that I am falling out of my wig. Right, so the people who I actually love don't really love me if they don't ascribe to your version of Christianity. Okay. You have fun on time out.
Mom?
For me, you can't love somebody without respecting them. You know, you can't treat them with love without treating them with respect.
That's true.
So
There's a whole website about how what a healthy and toxic relationship looks like, and it's called loveisrespect.org.
hmm. So respect means a lot of things, but first and foremost, it means acknowledging the equal legitimacy of the other person's ways, choices, beliefs, whatever, you know. That doesn't mean that every belief is equally correct, but they're equally legitimate. You know, the other person's paradigm, worldview, totality of ontology is equally legitimate to yours. Has anyone here ever worked in machining? Never have worked in machining. Not bad. West Ontario is very cold and dry and gray and windy and desolate, but I'm fine. Don't forget about the acid rain and the volcanoes, Johnny Doe. Ladies love me. I'm on that cool something. I forgot the lyrics. Fair enough. You're on that cool something. Cool breeze, tight squeeze. That's how you give someone the chills. Looking for sleep and falling short. Sounds like a lyric that host Eric could play with. That's not a bad lyric. Looking for sleep and falling short into a bed of.
That's a basketball court.
Let's say it again. Looking for sleep and falling short.
Falling asleep in a bed that was a basketball court.
Falling onto a basketball court.
Yeah.
So, looking for sleep and falling short, falling onto a basketball court. Now I'm awake and shooting some hoops. Oh, what a week. I'm thoroughly pooped. Thank you, thank you. It was a drying machine. My job was for. Actually, I did work on a machine, but I wasn't a machinist. I also worked on a drying machine but it wasn't a drum. I had to put the piece of leather on one stick that's poked out and then went around, and then I'd take the dry ones off when it was done coming around all the way. I truly hope you're joking, Acacia. What was Acacia joking about? Kay owned up to being a witness. I think we're witnessing sleep lyrics, but I'm not entirely sure. Looking for sleep.
Oh, thanks.
Looking for sleep, but tripping up short. Falling face flat on the basketball court.
That's so good.
I'm getting paper claws. Dat boy Klaus is here. Cook J, as in LL, ladies love Cool J. Song is Look at Me Now. Noise. Wait. Where did that thing go? There it is. Okay. Is that that was from 3 months ago, huh? How anyone can say hi. when my voice is shot, I project my voice onto others who got perhaps none of the problems I've got. It sounds like a poorly executed, not bad concept. Hey, witness, you're kind of losing your fakeness. Well, I mean, yeah, witness. Congratulations. You got yourself timed out again, and here I am talking to you, and you can't reply. Oh no. Maybe you should go someplace else. I feel so unfair to you. I see you as systemically dishonest. So don't expect me to be fair to you.
That boy Klaus.
It's that boy, Klaus. You know the one. The one that everybody's always talking about and saying, woo wee. I think I gave him 5 minutes. Yeah, 5 minutes. That the cat's hairball was the song. It feels longer if you don't know. I don't mind him knowing because, you know, he's put a lot of effort into this campaign of his. The motivation behind which is unclear. It's not rude as executive control. It's just, I like to call it natural consequences of your own bad behavior. You know, you have a choice, little mister. If you don't want to incur these consequences, then be honest, engage without duplicity and without provocation, and you'll be treated accordingly. And don't be all playing legally legals, like demanding some well substantiated justification for timing you out, because you're just playing, what did I do? You're like a middle schooler, really. It's like teaching middle school. We've had few bannable people lately. I'm generally not for timeout, but don't know what a witness did, and it's on my channel. Oh, he's been fucking super passive aggressively provocative continually for every time he comes here. Ignores me when I tell him to stop with this or that behavior, and it's just concern trolling, you know. Positioning himself as interested in my well-being, and rather than say what's actually happening, him casting judgment and aspersion upon me for the way I am, he's positioning it as he's trying to help me. It's like one of the more annoying things a person can do, you know, because it's so complete bullshit. Anybody who could help me in the fashion that he's purporting to do would have to themselves be something that I admired, behave in ways that I found respectable, use language to convey information and to learn and update one's statuses after one's been instructed. But he doesn't want to learn anything, and he's just getting more and more snotty. So, and I'm having less and less patience for it. Accordingly, he's incurring natural consequences. I'm not a timer outer either, you know. I don't like to time people out. I don't make a habit of timing people out just for the fuck of it. But what I can't help but time people out for is when they're not being honest. In other words, the way they're engaging with me is not in good faith. They're just continually looking for opportunities to provoke and or judge, condemn, annoy, dissemble, misrepresent what they think and say, etc. No, I don't know I need a justification. I mean, I know I don't need a justification, but I have them anyway. Timeouts are too temporary, which attract future trouble, in my opinion, should just off directly. I don't think so, okay, because um, the extent to which I time somebody out is going to link to the extent to which they are irritating me as opposed to me finding it engaging or potentially entertaining. The thing that a witness is running afoul of is he's he's ran all of his scripts already. So you can only beat the same dead horse so often before it just becomes spam. Okay, so like things like this are what I'm talking about, passive aggressive shit. Eric knows that I love. You don't know what I know. You don't get to decide what I know, and I don't know that. And I'm not trying to avoid your love, although if you were trying to give it to me, I probably would. But I'm not having difficulty with accepting anything except I don't feel like dealing with your bullshit. You're just dishonest.
I was gonna say that, like, it sounds like KE has some experience.
I'm not trying to pacify him, I'm trying to punish him. Right? This is not rehabilitative justice, it's retributive justice. I want to punish him because he's just he's trolling in the same way as he's been trolling. Nothing new here anymore, nothing to interest me. If he's been a troll the whole time, that's fine. But for some period of time, he did it in ways that were adequately of interest to get me to actually respond to what he was saying. Whether it was disingenuous or not, it was something that I had no problem spending time to respond to. Because even if it's disingenuous from him, somebody's going to be thinking that kind of thing. But at this point, he's just run out of songs in his repertoire. And be he troll, non troll, or something in between, he's no longer interesting. Depends on the receiver rather than the way it is used. In any case, that's my community management tip of the day. I mean, it depends on what I want. That's my community management tip of the day. If I feel like not dealing with them, then I will not deal with them by putting them on timeouts of varying lengths. If I'm inclined to let him toss up his, you know, trigger bait or whatever, then so it goes. Maybe one day you will. I will what? Maybe one day I will find the leprechaun's pot of gold. That would be helpful. You just take the pot of gold and give it straight to the dentist. Fly Guy wants his mom. Have you tried running for the president? If you do find it, please share. If I find what? The pot of gold? Okay. I might. I'll share. You guys can have the pot and we'll have the gold. The pot's made out of clay. It's a nice pot. And, you know, as an authentic leprechaun antique, it can fetch as much as upper three figures. I feel entitled to some of it now that I manifested it into existence. Okay, well, you can get whatever gold flakes are left on the inside of the pot. That's a common myth, common misconception. It's a myth. They're actually made out of either clay, ceramic, obsidian, or moon rock. Does 4 to 5 p.m. sunsets bother you guys? You mean because it's getting dark so early? I wouldn't say it bothers me.
I don't know the sun.
Hey, we do get like sometimes I find myself saying like, "Oh, I thought it was 6 o'clock, but it's actually only like 3 in the afternoon or something."
Me too.
Yes, it does bother me. It makes me more lethargic and depressed because I am a child of the sun. I don't mind this kind of this season and stuff, but it's always been the case that I found Twilight disconcerting, sometimes depressing. You know, I like daytime, I like nighttime. Twilight is a little bit of an iffy time.
I like afternoon.
Afternoon's good. Like there's this eerie kind of like inability to get the light right at at sunset because you're still getting outside light from outside, but it's too dim. And because you're getting outside light from outside, the inside lights don't make it look bright enough yet inside. You like twilight lighting? Well, it's good for taking photos if it's not too twilighty, but it just feels like you're running alongside the river Styx and you're in that nether place between life and death. In other words, you're in the twilight zone. Did you guys see President Trump in the Oval Office with the Saudi prince? I did not see that, no. Kind of liminal. That's right, it's a liminal space. But instead of space, it's time. It's a liminal time. I like the lightning in part 4. They got it down by that movie. The lightning in part 4 of what? Are you talking about? Um, Talking about the Fast and the Furious. It's my favorite movie series. I have watched every single one of the Fast and Furious movies at least 3 times. I can quote them word for word. Go, Kyle! Go! Or something like that. I've actually only watched a little bit of one of the Fast and Furious movies. Rachel and I attempted it.
That was definitely an attempt.
We didn't get too far.
It's just too much.
It was very terrible.
Apparently, Paul Walker is
That's not the one who died.
yeah, the one who died.
Oh well, he's not a predator anymore then.
That's true.
Breaking Dawn Part 2. Tokyo Drift is the only watchable one. I've not
No,
seen that
no,
one.
no,
I
no.
don't want to see it
No,
either.
no, you. It's just the same.
I'm sure. You see me jumping at the chance to see that film? I'm not.
It's just got more neon lights.
Right. Because they're in Tokyo.
Uh-huh.
Best film of all time? I mean, I have my standard answers, which are. This is really my favorite movie of all time. Not necessarily the best, but Princess Bride, Nightmare Before Christmas. In terms of more recent movies, I really liked Quiz Lady. Um, I like Three Amigos from back in the day. Other contemporary movies that I've enjoyed. I mean, I did like the Lord of the Rings trilogy quite a bit. And I liked. Wow, I mean, I think Toy Story was a good movie. I liked that movie. I liked. Oh, of course, there was that amazing, amazing remake of Ghostbusters, but with all chicks. I think it's called Gender and Sexuality Fluid Ghostbusters. I've not seen it actually, to be honest. And Roxanne with Steve Martin was okay. Not my favorite Steve Martin movie, but pretty good. Best movie of all time, huh? I think that um hmm. I mean, obviously, I like the original Star Warses 4, 5, 6. Jaws. I'm not. I actually don't think I've ever seen Jaws in in full. I may have seen a scene or two from it, but I don't believe I've watched Jaws. It's a. It's about a shark. I'd be the dog, says Kay. That's Brian. Yeah. Which Family Guy character would I be? I'm going to be Meg.
That's who I was gonna say for myself.
Oh, we can be a couple of Megs.
Yeah.
She's underappreciated, obviously, by her family. But you know
The
what?
problem with her though is
What's the problem with
she's
her?
voiced by.
Oh yeah, Mila Kunis.
Yeah.
Mila Kunis got
The-
on our shit list by being a two-faced, no good Nick.
Yeah.
Meow. I could conceivably be Cleveland as well. Who's PEDO apologetic? Do you think Family Guy is that? I'm not sure if I'd call it that. Nah, Ma, you're Brian. Me? I'm not Brian. Oh yeah, Mila. Right? Yeah. Well, not. She's rape apologist. She wrote a letter in defense of Danny Masterson, even though he'd been convicted of multiple counts of forcible rape. So that's pretty bad.
Pretty bad.
Well, she was concurrently on the managing board of this Thorn organization which is purportedly against human trafficking or something.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty hypocritical. Yeah, he did some. He didn't just do some stuff. He did some. Like he was. He's a hardcore rapist. You know.
It's so scary.
If that or SA. Yeah, SA, right. Danny Masterson was a actor. He played the curly haired guy on That 70s Show. And he's friends with uh, Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, both of whom wrote letters in support of him after he'd been convicted to try to get him off without jail time or as little as possible. Hyde, yeah, Danny played the character of Hyde. Mila Kunis plays Meg on Family Guy, but she played, I forget what her name was in the show. Yeah, she was 14, but I'm not, I'm not concerned about what she did on the show or what happened on the show. I'm concerned with,
Her as a person.
yeah. That's not on the crew, not on her. That's on the crew, not on her, per se. Well, but she's responsible for her behavior now. Now she's like 50 years old or something. I don't know how old she is.
I don't know.
Jackie. Mila Kunis played Jackie, and Brooke Shields played her mother. The only person who came out of that show who's not a Scientologist or a horrible person or both is Topher Grace.
Yeah. Who would like it?
And back in the day, there was like gossip articles and stuff about how he was the not a team player.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, I remember those.
Yeah, well that Wilmer guy,
Bad
he's
news
also
there,
a
too.
big rapey guy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. If I ever,
Scientologists, like even the parents on the show are no good.
yep, the parents are Scientologists too. Scientology is just a way to hide the dirt. I mean, it seems like as an organization, its purpose is to facilitate evil celebrities and their evilness. Who came out all right? Oh, Eric Foreman. He's the one who's not a Scientologist and did not hang out with those people and wouldn't buy into their bullshit. Can't these people just film TV shows without raping each other? You know, the thing is, Black Guy, they weren't raping each other. They were just raping regular people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you could call him the main character. But like the whole rest of that show is filthy with Scientologists.
Crazy. I never knew that until you told me.
Friends was clean as far as you know. I never heard any bad things like that kind of stuff about the Friends people or the show.
Yeah.
There's one called That 80s Show too. I'm sure it's terrible. Then there's that the older brother in Malcolm in the Middle, the one who's away at military camp. He's actually a Masterson as well.
Mm-hmm.
Chandler was into drugs. That's their scandal. Well, I mean, yeah, he was a loadie. And eventually it killed him. But it wasn't the drugs that killed him. It was the decision to do ketamine in a hot tub. Now, I get that it was more self destructive for him than party type of drug use, that he was struggling to have it not affect his career. His weight would fluctuate wildly and stuff like that. But I think ultimately what he had to do was quit drinking alcohol, and then he was able to sustain his drug habits until, unfortunately, he decided to do ketamine in a hot tub. Thoughts on the supernatural? Mr. Yum Yums, I've been naughty. Well, then, better put yourself on timeout. Thoughts on Supernatural? All I know is Sam and Dean's father is played by the same actor who played Negan in The Walking Dead. I've not seen Supernatural, or I might have seen some of it, but I don't remember it that well. Buffy the Vampire Slayer for the 2000s is Supernatural. Also, Dean, I think, almost got the role of Clark Kent in Superman in some other show. Plus zero, says Fly Guy. Oh, you mean you thought we would mistakenly believe that you thought it was like Buffy the Vampire Slayer for the AD 200s. I don't think anybody was going to make that mistake. I never read that Matthew Perry was taking drugs to party. I believe he was trying to self medicate his depression away. I mean, he was he was a drug addict. You know, he's a loadie. Why do drug addicts want to get loaded so much? I don't know why. We just do. There's no explanation for it. It's not like I was having problems with managing or limiting intoxicant consumption right from the very beginning, and it wasn't because I was depressed. I just I was just born to change my head, and accordingly, I've had to learn to make that find sustainable ways of doing that and excise unsustainable ways of doing that. But I don't think that Matthew Perry was treating his depression. I think he was treating his not being fucked up. Like, oh my God, I'm so sober right now. Surely there is some sort of intoxicant I could do. You guys are using too many names. Every one of these rich folk are okay. Ketamine, it seems like. Are on ketamine, it seems like. This stream is going to get flagged. Well, for what? For talking about for having potty language? But isn't that desire of wanting to escape oneself and one's life in a way a depressive symptom? No, not necessarily at all. You know, you feel antsy. You're looking forward to something that's you think is going to be fun, and finally your connect calls and you're excited to go get the drugs and do them. You know, it's it's like anything else that one might get excited about, look forward to, and then enjoy. It the fact that one can be excited about something, look forward to it, and enjoy it does not mean that one was depressed when one decided to engage in that getting it and doing it process. Does drinking every night I buy a 19.2 ounce can of hard 8% pineapple cider and drink while talking to people either over chat or calling friends. Does drinking one can even do anything? Yeah, I'm sure it does something. Here's an idea: coffee images that have frozen coffee water as ice cubes instead of just ice cubes. Um, Cameron does that in order to make it such that his he can cool his coffee down without diluting it. He makes coffee ice cubes. But needing to and wanting to feels different. I don't know. I mean, I know in Matt's case, as per her own admission, that he couldn't cope if he didn't. Yeah, well, I mean, here's the thing, Kay. He was being, he was operating in a paradigm of there that you have a disease of addiction and you have two choices: complete abstinence from intoxicants or complete degenerate drug addiction. Everything that I've heard from him about the subject, or quotes of him from about the subject, says to me that he bought into that, at least in giving it full lip service, while concurrently, apparently, continuing to do drugs, but probably not drink. So I don't think you can really trust him as a reporter on his own stuff. He was parroting like Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, the narratives of contemporary manifestations of those organizations, right? Which state that if you get intoxicated at all on anything, you'll get intoxicated on everything. So accordingly, he's probably he he probably when he was writing that stuff was that was part of his process of trying to get his brain around what was true, what was going on, what he wanted, how he could find a sustainable etc. It's a little more complicated than he was self-medicating. Matthew Perry reminds you of Charlie Sheen. He seems a lot less, you know, tiger's blood than Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, Kay. I also had multiple attempts at quitting drinking before I did, but that's that doesn't mean that I was self medicating, right? It just means that I I couldn't bring myself to genuinely forsake alcohol completely until the last time I quit because I was in love with it so much. Who's down with coffee ice? Who's down with coffee ice? I'm down with coffee ice. Who was it that was down with coffee ice? Let's see. It's Johnny Doe. He says, "Here's an idea: that has coffee that has frozen coffee water as ice cubes instead of just ice cubes. Iced coffee, presumably." Um, Mean, sarcastic, smart, deadpan snarkers. What aspect of the you drunk or the you drinking or the drinking itself that you were in love with? Well, I mean, I loved the Eric the drunk, not at all. I didn't love anything about me on alcohol or with alcohol. What I did love about alcohol was the I mean it's the perfect drug when you need to have that like ah feeling, right? It it does that better than anything else. And I liked the physical sensation of the warmth of the alcohol going down my gullet, settling in my gut. It was just, see you later. Oh, you're saying bye to Johnny, I see. Bye, Johnny. You get going. Well, I mean, Kay, the, I mean, I, I had whatever I was doing for work, right? Like, there were some jobs that were more stressful than others, but at the end of a long day of work, especially if I had, encountered a variety of frustrations or something, it was very satisfying. Of course, to to appreciate alcohol and to get satisfaction from it, you have to moderate the frequency with which you drink it, and the amount you drink when you do drink, or else you won't even get the good aspects of it very often because you'll be too hungover slash stomach acidy slash a bunch of other things. I feel my life to be more frustrating then. No, I mean I had a lot of stuff going on work wise. Like some of the frustrations had to do with just the implicitly difficult job of being a classroom teacher in middle school, right? You have to be corralling them all the time and managing them and making sure they're on point and not running roughshod over you in the classroom. It's a tiring, high intensity job, you know. Turbinsky 007 Unk, how are you? Toke a bowl with you? I will. I will toke a bowl with you right now. And then the EF informatory post says, my electric blankie feels so good, Eric. Want to join me? No thanks, but I appreciate the offer, the EF informatory post. Cameron says, I used to rely on some alcohol to reset my noisy head of flustered overwhelmedness after a day of dealing with thousands of other people's problems. Yeah, it's it's a real like easing of the easing of the stresses of the world and stuff. But because it's so effective like that, some people have problems controlling their consumption, drink too much, end up having negative outcomes. I don't have any questions or intrusive at all. Ask me anything, it's fine. You discovered $2 Taco Day Mondays at Berrigan's in Burbank. Wow.
It's a good discovery.
Let me go get a beverage. SC's up by only 9 points over Portland. One would expect us to be up by a little bit more than that, but Portland might be better than I thought. Today, beans were on sale for $1 per bean. That seems a little pricey. What am I getting? A beverage. Why am I getting it? To drink. Ugh. Cheers. Well, things are not quite as painful as they were when we first walked out of the dentist office, because we've got a we've had some, we're gonna go talk to a different dentist, and I've had some time to get used to it, and we're gonna get some vacation money to spend on this, etc. All this drinking talk got Eric thirsty. That's right. Why am I coming up as Trubinsky? Because YouTube changed it up so that everybody has to have its own, their own unique name. And I guess they reverted people back to their like base level name or something. That's tasty. That's a tasty beer. Non-alcoholic, of course. Made by the Corona Company. Reminds you that La Playa awaits. When I was a kid, I always imagined intoxicating myself in a very suave and sophisticated way. I'd see old movies and stuff where somebody comes in all shaken and say, "Hold on, Bill, you need a stiff drink." And they give him a stiff drink, and he takes a drink, and he's like, "Oh, okay, that's better. I feel better now." And he's calm, and he's like, he's gone from agitated to sober, essentially, because he drank that drink. I always imagined intoxicating myself like that, in this kind of elegant and well used, purposeful way. But I just don't really have that in me, I guess. I bought boots yesterday. That's new. That is new. Best damn boots in the whole store he got. They're boots that go all the way up to his crotch. I didn't grow up around alcohol, says Kay, so I never fantasized about it, and once I was around it, I got attached to my soberness. I mean, you're well served to not drink alcohol. There's no real, I don't think it would, for somebody who doesn't drink at all currently, no well-intentioned person would advise them to start drinking. They are tall boots. Well, I'm glad to hear it.
Why are you looking at me like that, Trouble?
As tall as the spirit of Canada? That's tall. Probably tastes like coronavirus. Are you saying Fly Guy's boots taste like coronavirus? Thumbs are so odd looking compared to other fingers. I just noticed mine after looking at Hotar's long NTP fingers. Thumb. Oh, he means my drink. No, it tastes like La Playa. It's like salt water and sand with a little bit of Mexican know-how. Some people have short thumbs, huh? Like hiking style boots? I bought some used, but like new. North Face tall hiking boots recently, only to discover a torn strap, which I had to rivet back on. That is absolutely appalling, Cameron. Good thing you had a riveter on hand. Whatever the thing is you need to fix the thing you need to fix, Cameron has that tool. Does non-alcoholic mean low alcohol? A non-alcoholic come in two varieties. One is less than 0.5%, so that's less than 1 proof. The other is 0.0%, which is no alcohol at all. I'll drink either of them. It doesn't matter. It's not possible to drink enough of the non-alcoholic beer that has a little teeny bit of alcohol in it to actually get a buzz. It's just not that alcoholic, you know. That's right. No, North Face is ghetto. People think it's nice, but it's not. Okay, do you see what I'm saying? If you think that it's nice, you're lying to yourself. It's totally ghetto, like your mom's good self. Like my mom's good shelf. Yeah, like your mom's good shelf. What's confusing about that? Everything. Okay, let's get ready. Let's go. First you're gonna go over here, then you're gonna go over there, then you're gonna see where the stairs, then you're gonna fall down the stairs. Let's go. First you're gonna say, what's that thing? Then you're gonna wonder, what did I bring? Then you're gonna ask me if I brought some food. I'm gonna tell you, no, I didn't, dude. Then you're gonna say, is that my inhaler? I'm gonna say, no, that's not a sailor. It is a sailor from a sailing ship. Stop being a pussy and go and get it. Now. That's right. Listen to K.E. She's not fucking around. She's the kind of lady who says, not on my watch. Not on my watch. My name's K.E. You can't go get your inhaler, G. Don't leave it over on the shelf in the bathroom. Go ahead and go get a bathroom. Bathroom? What is that, man? Well, bathroom, to be honest, nobody knows. Nobody. That's right. Nobody knows what bathroom is, but bathroom knows what the bathroom is. If you want sorrel boots that suck, go get boots from Sorrel, you cuck. Good advice, Casey Jones. Thanks for your helpful input. But I wish you wouldn't call me a cuck. Can I do a rap about how to flush your downstairs toilet? It's a rush. You go in there and pee, or maybe you poo, but when you flush, you lift up. That's what you do. If you flush down, it's the smaller flush, C, but if you lift it up, then you flush big G. And that is why all of your poop will go down without any problems, unless it's brown. They're not good now because they're made in Vietnam. I said they're not good now because they're made in Vietnam. They're not good now, said your dad about your mom. Because she's made in Vietnam. Let's go, that's right. I do blame Vietnam, okay? I blame it so hard. That's right. You said you'd be here about 2:30 p.m. But I saw you at the movies at 3 o'clock with Jim. I wondered why you blew me out. You said you had to scream and shout. But what does Jim have to do with that? Oh, Jim, you're asking me about him. Well, I can explain. He's a guy I know from work when back in I worked on a plane. He was a mechanic. I was a stewardess. And sure, I guess we kissed beneath the airplane. But hey, we just went out as friends today. Also, did I mention that since I knew him, he has turned gay? So you don't have to worry. You don't have to fret. Even though you are now, I bet. What do you mean? I saw you butt fucking in the bathroom. That's not something that a couple of old work friends would do. And you were saying, don't tell my boyfriend about this as he reamed your butthole. So, frankly, my dear, I don't believe you. What? Hey, no! That must have been my identical twin sister. She's a famous fan of anal. And if it wasn't her, it was probably my other identical twin, who is also, should I mention it, a huge, huge fan of anal. There we go. Thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. We're having sour cream and Pringles for Thanksgiving. Well, that's very festive of you because on the first Thanksgiving, that was when the Pilgrims introduced the concept of ruffle to the Indians. The Indians then went on a brief phase of like putting ruffles in everything. They'd ruffle their maize, they'd ruffle their bison. That's basically all they ate was maize and bison. You're only timed out for 5 minutes. Jeez. It's not my fault you weren't paying attention. Come back right when it was over. The only chip you get is Dorito. I hope I get to eat the poontang in the back of a utility vehicle for Thanksgiving. Well, that's crass of you, Casey Jones, but I hope your wish comes true. I've been paying attention to the difference between sativa and indica for a few months now and learning other people noted the differences. I believe I prefer the sativa. Anything done early is a life hack. Except for death.
Is it a literal life hack?
Hmm?
Is it a literal life hack?
Well, yeah, it could be, depending on how you go. Just focus on the shoes, tees, and jeans and dome church clothes, and you are good at Ross as a male shopper. You mean Ross dress for less? I cannot say turkey because I have already cooked, eaten, and cleaned up after my turkey. It was easier to cook it early than to find room in the freezer. So what am I cooking on? Do you always shout every single thing? Are you talking to the EF informatory post? Let's see here. Well, I'm going to give you guys a priceless life hack right now. All it takes for you to have everything you want is a positive attitude. With a positive attitude and the right amount of wishing, you too can have everything. If you don't have everything you've ever always wanted, I want you to know right now that it's your fault because of your bad attitude. Look at me. The other day I was like, I want a Cadillac. So I just said, I'm gonna find one. And I did find one, parked in a parking lot someplace. Unfortunately, it didn't belong to me. But the point is, I made that happen. I manifested it. Just cut it as soon as the glasses come down? Okay. What's the time of this right now? 2:14. 2:14. I should get a hat because it's so cold outside. How you feeling, Rachel?
Tired.
Don't feel like you gotta sit up if you don't want to.
I hear something strange.
What's that?
I hear something strange.
Well, I mean, nothing's stopping you from listening to it, watching it on your phone. But you do whatever you want, obviously. I watched a report on how Costco is keeping their Thanksgiving dinner prices down to about last year's cost. They have less food this year, shrinkflation. Well,
Can I say something?
sure. Do you want me to mute this?
Yeah.
Hold on. Hello, everybody. I'm back. They should do another holiday in February called Your Welcome's Taking. I think they should have another holiday 6 months away from Thanksgiving called Misgivings, in which instead of things you're thankful for, you say things you're worried about. Or things you think are bad ideas that are going to end in disaster. You know, things you have misgivings about. Christmas is in December, and it's called Christmas. And the reason it's called that is because holidays was too vague. Instead of going around the table, instead of saying, here's what I'm thankful for, you go, well, here's what you're welcome for. You're welcome for how handsome I am. You're welcome for how witty, how insightful. You're welcome for that time I told you you had mustard on your lips. I'm sort of always worried about kind of pooping my pants. Well, maybe poop before you leave the house. Or maybe eat less fiber. Then you'll worry about not pooping enough. You can't have it both ways. You have to be either constipated or constantly shitting yourself. You have those two choices. Wait a second. Christmas 2025 is canceled over all streaming platforms? Darn it, I was hoping to celebrate Christmas this year on YouTube. Oh, that would be perfect for misgivings, yeah. I get sleepy when I drink Coke. That does not qualify as a misgiving. And sour cream and Pringles diet can help with that. Yeah. Pringles, they are not made from slices of potato. That's their trick. That's how they get their uniquely uniform shape and everything. They start with some very ground up potatoes and then smush it into that shape. If you were thinking they always get exactly that size and shape chip from their potatoes, wrong. I'm actually the least worried I've ever been, but still, does it ever fully resolve to a place of never worrying about kind of pooping your pants? I mean, there will always be that occasional flatulence that has a worrying amount of dampness to it, and you'll have to just go find out do you need to change your underwear or not, you know? But those are pretty rare. I can't make grilled asparagus soup without the grilled asparagus and onions. It's my staple I make, but will not have it for Thanksgiving. Yes, Casey, when you stop eating, you can stop worrying about pooping your pants forever. Well, I like to think that if we don't eat food we do get some calories by breathing into our stomach some little floating food particles in the air. Like probably at any given moment, there's a teeny little specks of bread floating in the air. This is No Christmas 2025 is a silent protest of the tariffs. Um, okay, well, I don't approve of the tariffs, but I'm not inclined to protest them either. I went on a liquid diet for 4 days, never stopped pooping. We're drinking half a gallon of milk before bed. Well, that sounds like a middle of the night trip to the toilet for sure. Tiny, edible, floating faunas. Yeah, like little teeny proto deer and aardvarks and stuff. That's what you're doing, Rachel? So Gargamel made Smurfette? Is that true? Did Gargamel make Smurfette to try to seduce the Smurfs, only to have the Smurfs seduce Smurfette? Is that what happened? Gargamel made Smurfette, but underestimated what a slut she was, and her bottomless thirst for Smurf cock. Ironically, the only part of their body that's not blue. It's a bright fire engine red. That's the part that Gargamel was trying to harvest in order to make the Philosopher's Stone. No, I was saying that's another way of saying pooping. Yes, that is another way of saying pooping. Yet a third way of saying pooping is to have a bowel movement. If he can make Smurfs, then he must have made the rest of them. Okay, but if he can make Smurfs, then why does he need to catch them? Maybe Smurfs only ripen properly in the wild. That's possible. I'd believe that. Yeah, Smurf can't properly ripen in the laboratory. Smurfs need to properly ripen in the wild. Raisins are just dried up Smurfs. He needs to repurpose their ingredients for his Philosopher's Stone. But did he really make Smurfette? Where did you come up with that? Are you just pulling that out of your ass? Inquiring Erics want to know.
The Smurfs franchise has been going on for almost.
So the Smurfs iceberg explained. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for that, Acacia. That will help me, and maybe we'll answer all of my Smurfs questions. I'm wearing a pull-up right now from all the antibiotic diarrhea. Well, I appreciate your willingness to share, but I'm not requesting it. All right, you burb all you want, darling. You burb your little heart out. Rachel's gonna burb right now. I'm looking for Tijuana. There it is. This beat sounds like Tijuana. Let's go down to old Tijuana. It's a heck of a town. They've got sombreros on the mujeres. There's siesta time in the afternoon, and that makes me swoon, 'cause I love a good nap. Yeah, I love a good nap. Long ago in old Mexico, everybody went so slow. All the people said, let's get around. And Pablo said, I've got a burro. Come along, Maria. Together we'll explore the Mexican countryside. Ay, Pablo. You know I can't go with you to the country. I've got to go home and make tortillas for dinner. I told you this yesterday and the day before as well. Because you're always asking me to go to the countryside with you. Because the countries where our Mexican ways lead to good Mexican days. I only want to see you again. I know you have Mexican sayings, I too with my Mexican ways. But if you don't want to love me, then just say so. Yeah, I don't want to love you, that's what I'm saying. I'm just a Mexican lady, and I don't want to get embarazado so young. Put away that bottle of tequila. You're gonna try to get me drunk. It's not gonna work. I promised the father at the Catholic Church that I'd stay pure. There you go. That was fantastic. A wonderful beat. The real Tijuana song. The kind of song you'll hear at any house party in Tijuana. long time ago. We lived in romantic times, and then again a long time ago we discovered romantic times again. Romantic times are fun and fun. We did kissing and other stuff. I brought flowers and you brought wine, and we had a romantic time. They call me Don Juan of Santo Domingo. I woo all the ladies each day. I bring romance to department stores, and ladies buy their bags. That was a bit of a challenging beat. It's called Beguine. Of course, I had it rather fast too, but. This is a waltz. Join me on the river boat. We're traveling down the moat, and we'll have a seat next to the window. Join me on a floating tour. We'll go buy that manure, and we'll smell it together. I bought us 2 tickets on the canal boat today. I got 1 ticket close and 1 away from the spray. But don't be dissuaded by all the bad reviews, 'cause I have it on good authority, this is fun. Sure, I know Frank and Joe told us it was awful, but what do they know? They're just Frank and Joe, and they're notorious for being wrong. Okay, that's enough piano for me tonight, I think. That's enough piano for 1,000,000 years. So you just got 1,000,000 years worth of piano and much less than 1,000,000 years. So that's a good deal. That's a really good deal. Thanks, Casey. I am known as 1/2 Beethoven, 1/2 Mozart, 1/2 Cab Calloway. That's my musical lineage. That's why I play the piano so much. 1/2 Yo-Yo Ma. Did I mention that? You may be familiar with Yo-Yo Ma. She's the only person in the world that I can think of who is famous for being both a cellist and a dumb toy. Except, of course, maybe like Yitzhak Rubik's Cube. Yitzhak Rubik's Cube, also a great cellist named after a dumb toy. So I guess there are two. There are two such people. I'm getting fat from all the milk and beef jerky and Three Musketeers is. Well, may I recommend a better candy bar? Why have a Three Musketeers when you could have a Heath bar? Why have a Three Musketeers when you could have a Baby Ruth? Why have a Three Musketeers when you could have 100 grand? Now that's a good candy bar, 100 grand. That's a tasty meatball. Oh, you're just being seduced by the creamery nougat, Casey Jones. Haven't you learned that it's promising lies? It's promising to be so fluffy and creamery and nougaty and satisfying, but really just like, what even is this stuff? Why didn't I choose a Heath bar? Now, with a Heath bar, your mouth will really know the flavor of candy. It's got sweetness on every level. It's got the brown part, it's got the tan part. That's all you need. That is all you need. Whereas the Beatles, they would try to tell you that love is all you need, but really all you need is a Heath bar. Look at that moon. Motato weather for sure. What's a motato? Half potato, half mojito? Is it a mojito? Is it a mojito served in a potato? Or carved out raw potato? I bought a big bag of potatoes and it's growing eyes like crazy. Other foods raw. Potatoes want to see. Bill Callahan sounds like Forrest Gump. Emma Bowlcut, huh? It's an unfortunate last name for the character to have. What excellent boiled potatoes. Jane Austen, Pride and Prejudice. And thine potato doth measure 200 cubits by 10 cubits by 4 cubits. Psalms 26:13. Oh. Well, 3.6 seconds left. The USC Trojans are leading by a paltry 27 points. I'd like to see us get a last second rub salt in the wounds 3-pointer, but it doesn't look like we're going to take that shot. Oh, let's have good sportsmanship. Good sportsmanship, schmud. And look, I proclaim, Motato this sunrise morning, Benjamin Franklin, right? Who also said, Motatos are like house guests. They smell like fish after 3 days. Antoine Auguste Parmentier was an 18th century officer who popularized the motato in the French army, and his name has ever since meant with motatos. Mark Kurlansky Cod, a biography of the fish that changed the world. Do motatos have anything to do with Motown? The Motatos were a short-lived Motown group that attempted to write songs that were all about potatoes, but with a saucy Motown swing. Needless to say, the ill-conceived notion bore no fruit, as their debut album, Motatoes, sold under 1,000 copies. And that's the true story of the Motown group, the Motatoes. I think maybe it was Martin Luther who made the Motato most famous when he nailed it to the door of a church. And on it he had tacked a note, "More words to follow. Never judge a Motato by its skin. One day it will be French fries." That doesn't make any sense. Because French fries are not called pinch fries, even though they're made out of potatoes. Jazzy Davidson looking good in the neighborhood. She's our highly touted young freshman, starting lineup freshman, #1 recruit in the country. She's silky smooth. I don't think she's as good as Juju Watkins, who was also a #1 recruit, but she's got a different game. She's got her own game, Anyway, it's a good year to be a USC Trojans fan, that's for sure. Advice for time traveling to medieval Europe. That seems like a good video. All right. So I think what I will do right now. Oh, what is that? Yeah. Okay. Meow this, and then I'm gonna meow it like so. Beats from keyboard. What kind of beats do we have? Let's find out. Oh, well, this is all your part. It's just some drums from the keyboard. I like it. I'm tough and yes, I'm tough and everybody come and give me all your things. Oh, you lost a thing. I found it. Now it's mine. I'm tough and yeah. All right, let's dance. I'm tough and with an I. We spell it out. Tiffany Tiffany with an I. I said a Tiffany. I'm Tiffany with an I. I like hot air balloons. Floating majestically in the sky. Hey, pick me up. Can't you say that I'm doing karaoke? Okay. What song is this? Row your boat. Row your boat gently down the stream. Oh, merrily, life is but a dream. Is that true? What, the life is a dream? Yeah, am I a slave right now? No. I don't even have a boat. If I did have a boat, I wouldn't want to spend all my time rowing it down a stream. Well, that's because we don't travel by boat a lot anymore, Tiffany. Row your boat just right down the stream. No, I don't want to row. I want to take a hot air balloon without rowing a boat down the stream. No. I don't want to row a boat. I'd rather take a hot air balloon and row in a moat. Thanks, Tiffany. Well said. You're a real hero. Have I ever told you that? Oh, of course I'm a hero. Do you have almond milk? I don't have any almond milk right now, Tiffany. Oh, what's that? This is another beat from the keyboard. Wow. Oh, what's that? There's some chords. They're terrible. You're right. La 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 la. Got out of here, y'all. Listen, I gotta tell you something. You need to get out of here because you stink. Oh, look at another bit. Oh, you stink. You don't smell good. Because you stink. Listen, you got to stop being such a baby. You stink. You need to stop losing and weeping because you stink. I went up to you and spelled you. Guess what? You stink! Boo-hoo! Listen up! Listen here, boo-hoo, boo-hoo! You need to stop being such a bummer and get out of here! Cause you stink! Well, that's beautiful, Tiffany. Thank you for sharing that wonderful song with us. You stink. You need to get out of here. You stink. Yeah, you stink. You're such a baby, you stink. You don't deserve to go in a hot air balloon. Only non-stinking people can go in hot air balloons. Yes, you stink. Finders, keepers, and losers, weepers, 'cause you stink. Yeah, it's true. If you were thinking I was just exaggerating, I wasn't. She both drinks and smokes a lot of almond milk, it's true. She also does a lot of butt sunning because she understands that unlike most of our body, our butthole doesn't get any sun particles on it. But we need all the vitamins that are in sun particles. Ergo, it's important periodically, maybe once a day, maybe twice a day, to go outside, spread your butt cheeks to the sun, and let the sun hit you right on the butthole. It's called butt sunning. And it's the difference between living to, say, 120 years old or, say, 60 without butt sunning. Butt sunning is proved by some people somewhere, sometime maybe, to double your life expectancy. So if you aren't doing it now, it's time to start. Remember, you've probably seen the public service announcements, your butthole won't sun itself. Sometimes these streams make me ask, what did I just walk in on? How long do I expose it to the sun? Well, it kind of depends on your natural skin color. If you're darker, it can take a little bit more exposure. If you're more fair skinned, if you're like an albino Scandinavian, then probably just 3 to 4 minutes will be fine. The important thing is to start introducing sun particles to your butthole gradually. Don't go too hard the first day because you don't want a sunburned butthole when it comes time to poop. What about flies? Well, people have a naturally symbiotic relationship with flies where they're like those little fish that clean the big fish's mouth, right? If we lie outside with our butt cheeks spread and our butthole to the sun, then the flies will come and pick away little bits of poop and stuff and carry it back to their nest. It's a win-win-win situation. The only people who don't win are your next door neighbors. That's true for a lot of different things that we get on our body. If, let's say, we spill some soda on our arm, we could just go lie down on an anthill and the ants will come eat all the soda off of us. That's just how thorough they are as maids. They don't just clean your butthole now, they leave the next generation of cleaners behind to help clean it in the future. Moonlight's good for your butthole, sure. But, a lot of people don't even think about whether or not they're getting enough moon particles. Like, it's night outside. Why do I need to go outside? To get moon particles, obviously. Moon particles are the leading vitamin M, something called moonium, which is critical to respiratory health, foot health, agile knees, and long, full, lush earlobes. Once the ants have finished licking up all the soda, then you call the anteaters to eat the ants. Then you call the anteater eaters to eat the anteaters. Yeah, they leave a surplus for generations. And if it just so happens that your butthole should get infected if it's infected when the eggs hatch, then the maggots will eat all the infected flesh away, preserving your butthole from gangrene. Pretty good, huh? It's a win-win-win-win-win-win-win. Where are all these flies coming from? Says your boss at work. Oh, that's my bad. I guess the maggots are finally growing up. What maggots? The ones in my anus? I mean, if you want me to get graphic, I have a lot of rotting infected flesh down there and I need them to clean it up. I actually don't want you to get graphic. Too late. So that's why you don't admit at work that the flies are coming out of your pants. I don't know where those flies are coming from. Presumably outside where flies live. Or, maybe Johnson brought him in. I don't know. He looks like a fly bringer. What? I'm not a fly bringer. That's how you pull it off at work, though, if you're the one who's fostering a colony of maggots in your butt. Anywho, we'll have a bit of clipping to do at the end of this live stream. A few clips I can imagine clipping from it. I tend to think of it like, well, look, if I clip a bunch of shorts from these live streams, I should see a, kind of a certain kind of curve. Like the majority of them will get few views, but some will get decent views and some will get good views. It's hard to say what's gonna work with shorts, although sometimes you can tell what's gonna work. So it's not. It is in theory possible that you could get all your shorts hit well if you cued into the formula of what works well. Like pretty much every short I've ever made about a large piece of construction equipment has gotten like 5,000 views. And it's basically like, what's this thing for? Is like the title. And I'm like, look at this weird construction equipment. What's it for? It doesn't even matter if I actually know what it's for or not, Just, oh, I don't got this thing. And it gets plenty of views and comments. I need some snappier titles or something, Like, yeah. I did not expect this. I was shocked. I noticed that some of the people whose videos I watch use like that kind of titling technique. I'm a bit concerned that you fall into the category of entertainment. That means you are in a huge pond competing against. Well, I mean, frankly, I don't think it makes much of a difference which category you put yourself in. Like, I watch a lot of different kinds of videos and I get recommended different kinds of videos that are in different categories. I don't know, we'll just have to see how this clipping shorts thing goes. So far, I've clipped a bunch of shorts and none of them have really hit, but there have been a couple that have gotten in the hundreds of views rather than the tens of views. Most of them have been in the tens of views, which is not good, but with shorts, you got to figure that you throw a bunch of attempts out there and someone will hit. Clip the anal sex song? Okay, maybe I will. Maybe I will. Whatever it is that does eat anteaters should be called an anteater eater. And to be perfectly honest, they should be called ant lickers. They don't so much eat the ants as they do lick them up with their long ant licking tongue. It's specially designed to lick ants. If ants were Christina Aguilera, anteaters would lick them the right way to consume them. Anteaters' main predators are jaguars and pumas. All right. So, which one should we change the name of? Jaguar or puma? Let's change jaguar, because Puma is a cooler word. So we're going to call jaguars from now on anteater eaters. Anteaters vibe like a car driving backwards. Harpy, eagles, and anacondas go after young anteaters. Are there any kind of ants who try to strike back against the anteaters? Like the leafcutter ants of South America have begun launching organized assaults on anteaters to put an end to this existential threat. They have one of the leader ants giving a speech saying, "This beast's very name identifies it as not just a murderer of ants, but an eater of them." And then, the rest of the ants shake their spears until finally, in the dark of the night, they lead out a war party and go to the nest of a sleeping anteater. And they very quietly tiptoe up and climb all over the anteater before they do anything. And then, 1, 2, 3, they all stab it with their spears at once and then bite it with their poisonous jaws. And they end up being like piranhas. They skeletonize it in like a minute and a half. That's how many ants there are eating it. Let's see what's going on in the... You can't hear the beat in the background. I didn't realize that. Obviously, I'm a lot closer to the microphone than the speakers are. So, there's that. Meta Bachet, he made a new video 4 days ago called "What's the Most Addictive Drug / Medication?" No, I don't want to roll. I want to take a hot air balloon. It's a Oh, Tiffany, thank you for clipping those, Acacia. Yeah, I think I'm going to have fun till the clipper takes the clipping away on this one. There's been multiple things that I think I'd like to clip, like explanations I did early on that I did for the purpose of clipping. So they're pretty lean, mean, and they're a lean, mean, leaning machine. Typology Celebrity Live Show. If you ever want to fib about your maggot hood, my maggot hole, my maggot hole, my maggot hole, shove it in your maggot hole. Which hole is my maggot hole again? Your anus, obviously. Oh. No, Winston's mom. You misspelled her name. Her name is Tiffany with an I. One I, not two. Okay? Tiffany. It might seem confusing, but Tiffany's right. She is Tiffany with one eye in her name. Of course I has Bob. Another finish the story typing. You mean I'm gonna tell you the beginning of a story and you tell me the end of it. So once upon a time, there was a guy who had a pet duck named George, and the guy had infected flesh on his anus. So he let flies land there and lay their eggs. Soon enough, maggots hatched and began to eat the infected flesh. Now you finish the story. You mean like that? That's a good idea. It's a great story starter. Who wouldn't want to finish that story? Stories to put your child to sleep to. The Holocaust, a bedtime story. Once upon a time, there was a place where some bad men hated other people very much. I don't want to read Holocaust, a bedtime story. Okay, would you like to read Slaughter of Elephants? The Hunt for Ivory? No, I don't like that book either. How about Gone in a Moment? The Transience of Life. An expose. No, all these books are terrible. Okay, you want to read Goodnight Moon? Are you sure it's just regular Goodnight Moon? Yeah, it's Goodnight Moon. Okay, read Goodnight Moon. All right. Our moon is a thin line that stands between us and instant death. Good night, moon. Would you like to read Andy's Anal Bleeding? It's for kids like you who have special medical problems. When Andy got home from the doctor, he didn't feel very good. He had gotten bad news. Apparently, he had something called chronic anal bleeding. Anyway, into every life, a little chronic anal bleeding must fall. None of us get to live a perfect, pain-free existence. None of us don't get bits of bad news occasionally. And yeah, we all get to enjoy our fair share of anal bleeding. In the Middle Ages, they would have leeches to help with it, but now you're on your own. Unless you happen to live in a place where you can naturally gather leeches. I don't live near any leeches that I know of, so I have no cure. Bloodletting is an interesting notion. Like, what made them come up with that? Like, what do you think's wrong with them? Too much blood? Why would you think that's wrong with them? Well, I don't know. Like, what else could it be? It could be literally anything else. Why would you think that because he's got a cold, he has too much blood? Well, He just looks kind of overly full of blood. I don't know, a little blood bloated, you know? He doesn't look blood. What? That's not even a thing. Regardless, look, let's not argue about whether he's blood bloated. Let's just put the leeches on, leave him on for an hour or so, and call it a day. But why are we putting the leeches on? To get out the excess blood. How did you become a doctor? Don't you know anything about getting rid of extra blood? I mean, but where does the extra blood come from? I don't know. What am I? Some kind of magical wizard? I'm a doctor. All I know is there is too much blood. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know where it goes when we get rid of it. It just goes in the leeches, you know. But what I do know is by standing around here arguing with me, you are killing this man. But he's only got the common cold and way too much blood. If leeches ate peaches instead of my blood, then I would be free to drink tea in the mud. If you enjoyed the novel Anal Bleeding, you're really going to love the calming bedtime sequel, Zika Mosquito and the Tiny Heads. Little Jenny was having a great time playing outside one summer's evening. She lived in a safe neighborhood. There weren't many wild animals, nothing big enough to hurt her, or so she thought. Nothing big enough to hurt her. What little Jenny Sue didn't realize was it wasn't the big thing that would bring an end to her precious little life. Bzzz, what's that, Mommy? Oh, it's just a mosquito, said the foolish mother, unaware that she was sentencing her little girl to a certain doom. After the little girl dies, and the parents get divorced, and the mother racks with insurmountable guilt, ultimately hangs herself. It's a pretty dark story. Well, it's a nice evening actually, with a hat on. It's a little cold without a hat on, but it's pretty refreshing outside with the hat on. What sciencey thing was I watching earlier? Oh yeah, you know what's funny? I got recommended a video that said 0.9 repeating equals 1. Incidental? Coincidental? Is YouTube listening? Had they heard our conversation about this 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3? So, according to this calculus channel, 0.9 repeating does equal 1. And he presented something of a proof for it, but of course, that's not relevant to why I was right. The reason I was right that 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3 equals 1 is He didn't say 0.3 repeating plus 0.3 repeating plus 0.3 repeating. Anyway, his proof had to do with the fact that it converges. I'm not exactly, I didn't quite grasp his logic, but the point is that even if we had been adding up 0.3 repeatings, it still would equal 1, according to that calculus guy, anyway. I watched it. It was only like 3 or 4 minutes long. But, I don't think we're going to see Tuts again, because I think Tuts painted himself into a bit of a corner. What happened was he said in a comment that he wanted to type me. And I was like, yeah, I'd love to be typed. Just show up anytime in the live stream and, I'll shut down the stream and start up a video conference room. We can record it and publish it, And so I don't think he wants to subject his process to scrutiny, given that he's been so fixated about invalidating my process, without any good cause at all. He just basically makes totally unsubstantiated claims and then says nothing when asked to substantiate them. His most recent totally unsubstantiated claim was about on that TI polar bias and something else video where he said something like, I can't believe all these people, these idiots around here are fooled. If you watch enough of this guy's ramblings and videos, you'll see it's definitely a TE DOM looping with looping NE when confronted. So that's the sort of claim he makes where he just makes the claim that it's obviously this is the case without any warrant whatsoever. Here's an example of what I'm talking about. He's not actually drawing any distinctions between different things I'm saying and how they're representative of different either values or artifacts of different functions or whatever. So, that's what I'm saying. He kind of backed himself into a corner that he doesn't want to actually follow through on that. I don't think he's scared to talk to me. I think he realizes that if other people can see his process, then they will subject it to scrutiny in the same fashion that he's subjecting my process to negation, but that he won't have any answers for anything. If he even does have a process, maybe he's typed people before, but he's typed me as several different things over the course of his time around here, including ENTP, ESFP, and ESTJ. So I brought it up to him that he lacks street cred here, has yet to establish his credentials when you have thousands of hours of work to show on video. He said, I had a lot to learn. About street cred, about experience, about just agreeing with Tuts regardless of what he says. You have a lot to learn about that, Winston's mom. You keep trying to give him pushback. You just don't respect the power of his amazing intuition to know things without any reason. And what he knows pretty clearly is that I'm an ESTJ and that Fly Guy is an ESTP. And that if he doesn't like something, that means there's something wrong with it. which is one of the stranger notions I've encountered in a while. Because obviously, a person's feelings, they vacillate so much. They're so changing, and it's also the case that you might be in a bad mood in general, and it's going to make you have kind of negative feelings towards a bunch of specific things that aren't even linked to the bad mood. Right, well, I mean, we all have lots to learn, I'm sure. But we're not going to learn any of it by listening to Tuts. That's for sure. We might as well try to learn about it from somebody who's never even heard of it. That person would make fewer mistakes. Let me pull some bowls. Settle into the chair for a minute or two here, and then I'll probably wind it down and start wrapping things up. But first, I want to pull some bong rips. I imagine we'll probably see less of a witness around going forward as well, because, you know, I've exhausted all the interest in his broken record, you know. I just don't think that he's gonna stick around when he's not successfully triggering the kind of response he wants, you know. Probably a troll. I think that's the best guess on him. I go back and forth, but I think that's the best guess. I guess that's the most interesting thing about him, is I'm not 100% sure. Why don't you pull out your pocket? Sorry, Tiffany. Bad mindless habit. Oh yeah, there's no reason to be polite to him. I'm not polite to him, that's for sure. Because, I mean, if it's not trolling, it's just a mind-boggling inability to recognize the equal legitimacy of others, you know? And a incomprehensibly total tendency to project their experiences on normative frame for others. So much so that it's almost got to be a troll, but I don't know. People can be genuinely that stupid, you know? You don't think he has self-awareness? Well, I mean, I guess he also doesn't have the ability to hear my words and listen to them or something, or learn from them at all, because I've expressed it on multiple occasions that it's disrespectful of him to tell other people what to do, to tell me what to do, and to tell me that I'm somehow being wicked by when I'm not doing anything that's immoral or even mentioned in the Bible. So I just don't know. That's one of two possibilities. Oh yeah, that's another thing I hadn't thought about it. I don't know. It's a good point. Sometimes I've dealt with somebody who's been like almost trollishly oblivious, but it turned out to be like a kid, like 13-year-old or something. I don't think that's the case with a witness though, because he says he had his phase of drugs and alcohol and stuff, and he now he gets high on Jesus instead. You know, that's what he says. So I don't know what to make of the guy. I don't want to like him. Oh yeah, what do you make of him, Tiffany? Very simple. High stacks. You're not wrong, Tiffany. You are not wrong. He does think. Yeah. I gotta suck my butt. Okay. Is he also being a baby? Oh, call it bow, Baba. Well, I guess that's going to be a wrap. So, for those who are still here, thank you for being here this evening. I hope it was as fulfilling and rewarding for you as it was for me. It was a lot of both. And if not, well, maybe next time I'll do a better job. So, I love you all and see you later.